What's up, peeps? It's me. I'm back. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody is staying safe, and I hope everybody is being smart. I hope everybody is preparing for 2024. Preparing for this new year that's about to come in, and that's kind of what I want to talk about today. I just want to do a little sharing with y'all, and hold on. Talk about 2023 and what 2023 has kind of meant for us, for me personally, and for us as a collective as a whole, and to also talk about 2024 and what they say 2024 is supposed to mean. So I hope y'all loving yourselves. I hope y'all taking care of yourselves. I hope you putting yourself first. I hope you are taking the time, like I always say, to get to know yourself, to go within, and to get to know who you really are, and move from that point. But yeah, let's talk about this a little bit. So 2023 is coming to an end, right? And those of us who are part of the spiritual community, we know that, you know, this is the end of, we're closing out. We're coming to the very, very end of, may even already be at the end of, or at the beginning of, but we've gone past the end of the Pisces, the age of Pisces, and we are entering into the age of Aquarius. And the age of Aquarius ushers in the divine feminine energy, right? And before anybody gets started, when I say divine feminine and divine masculine and all of that, I'm talking about energy. I'm not talking about genders. I'm not talking about sex. I'm not necessarily talking about men versus women. I'm just talking about divine male, divine masculine energy and divine feminine energy, right? Men can hold and men can carry divine feminine energy, just like women can carry divine masculine energy. I mean, you do know that we have both in us. We all, as human beings, have divine masculine and divine feminine energy. It just, one is going to dominate. And sometimes the divine masculine energy is what dominates in a woman. And sometimes the divine feminine energy is what dominates in a man, right? It's not, that's not the rule. That's the exception to the rule, but it does happen. So when I say divine masculine and then divine feminine, I'm not necessarily talking about men and women, right? Okay. But that's what we're entering. We're entering the age of Aquarius, which is dominated by the divine feminine energy, right? But we are coming out of 2023. And if you break 2023 down, you get 7, right? And 7 is the number of perfection. 7 is the number of completion. 7 is the number of something being finished, something being completed, something being perfected, right? And if you think about it, if you think about completing a project, if you think about completing, you're building a house and you're completing the construction of the house and you're finishing it and you're perfecting it. When you think about completing something, perfecting something, you think about adding those last final touches that make it perfect. Those last final touches that make it complete, that finish it, so that you finally see the complete and total finished product, right? Now, not only may you have to add some things to perfect it, to complete it, to finish it, but you may have to take some things away. You may have to remove some things that you realize are not necessary, or some things that are taken away from the perfection of it, or are taken away from it being complete and being that finished product that you want, that you desire, right? So that's what this year, 2023, has been all about. 2023 has been all about perfecting some things, completing some things in your life. I know it's definitely been about that for me. And personally in 2023 has been a year of things being shaken up. 2023 has been a year of me and my daughter going through some things, and we realized who we could depend on and who we couldn't depend on. We realized who were our real friends and who were not. It's been a year of challenges. It's been a year of having to make decisions, in some cases hard decisions. It's been a year of separation, where me personally, I had to separate myself from certain people. I had to separate myself from certain things. I had to separate myself from certain places. It's been a year of rediscovery for me. It's been a year of me reconnecting with Source and with the Spirit, and reconnecting with myself, reconnecting with my spiritual self, the essence of who I am. And in doing that, I had to go internally. I had to do some healing about some things. I had to release some trauma. I had to release some drama. I had to release some hurt. I had to release some anger. I had to release some resentment. There was a lot of work that I had to do on me in 2023, because I did what this is the reason why I've been able to talk to you guys about the responsibility part, and about how spirituality really starts with taking personal responsibility. Is because that's what I had to do. I had to take personal responsibility. I had to realize that I was the one that was entirely responsible for the condition and the situations and the circumstances that I found myself facing over and over and over again. And I had to go within to figure out, okay, what is it about me that's attracting these situations, these circumstances into my life over and over and over again? What's going on? So that's the reason why I had to go within and do some, and they call it shadow work, where you go in and you do work on your shadow self. That's that darker part of you, because we all have it. We all have that light part of us, and we all have that dark part of us. And that dark part of us is considered our shadow, and that's the part that is attached to negative stuff. That's the part that usually where all the trauma and all that stuff is stored, and you have to go in there and you have to meet your shadow person. You have to deal with your shadow person. You have to face your shadow person, and you have to deal with all of that stuff that your shadow may be holding on to. And because your shadow is holding on to it, your shadow is actually attracting these things back into your life over and over and over again, until you go in and you do that work. And that's what I had to go do. I had to go do that work. I could no longer blame anybody else for anything that was going on with me, anything that was going on in my life. I had to take full and complete responsibility. And that's one of the things that I did in 2023. Is take complete responsibility for what was going on in my life. And that led to me reconnecting with Source, God, the universe, whatever way you want to call it. That led to me reconnecting with the source of all things. That led to me reconnecting with, like I said, the spiritual me, the real me, the essence of who I am. We are not just human beings, right? We are spiritual beings, eternal, divine, supernatural, spiritual beings that live inside a body. So I had to reconnect with my spiritual self. And continue my spiritual journey. How about that? I had to pick up where I left off because I allowed things in my past. I allowed things. Hold on, you guys. Hold on. Hello?
And I'm calling for Ritual Pediatrics. I just wanted to confirm an appointment with Soleil for tomorrow to see Jane, our behavioral therapist, at 11 a.m.
Yes, ma'am. We'll be there.
Alrighty, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Okay. So that's part of what 2023 was about for me. Like I said, some things that had happened in 2022, some things that had happened earlier in 2023 just led me to this place where I just knew I had to get it together. I had to get it together for me and my daughter. I had to, like I said, I had to reconnect, and I had to pick up my spiritual journey. That's what I was saying before they called, is that I had allowed certain things in my past. I had allowed certain relationships and certain things that were going on with me to sidetrack me, to distract me, and to get me off of my spiritual path. And it has taken years. I'm literally telling you, it has taken years for me to get back on track with my, as far as my spiritual journey is concerned, as far as this spiritual path that I was walking on. But I don't regret anything. I don't regret a single moment of anything that happened in that space of time, because it taught me so much. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about other people. I learned so much about perceptions. I learned so much about feelings and relationships and all of this stuff. And I'm thankful and grateful for everything that happened, because it led me right back here where I am now. And I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be here. Okay? So, and maybe 2023 hasn't been like that for everybody. But 2023 has definitely been a year of perfecting for me. It has definitely been a year of completion and completing something for me. Right? It has definitely been that. That's what 7 means. 7 means we're gonna complete this thing. We're gonna finally perfect this situation. It is gonna be finished, and we're gonna get it right. So that means that there may be some folks that you had to walk away from in 2023. There may have been some situations, a job, or some friendships, or some people that you used to hang out with that you thought were your friends or your acquaintances, or some places that you used to like to spend your time and hang out there, that you had to separate yourself from in 2023. There may have been some new people, some new places, some new things that you had to encounter in 2023. There may have been some old resentments, some old hurts, some old anger that you had to release in 2023. And there may have been situations, circumstances, events that happened, and you didn't understand exactly the reason why they were happening, but they led to you being able to release these things, to release these resentments, these hurts, these past traumas, to be able to forgive, to be able to open up and say, okay, I forgive you for this, I forgive you for that, because I got to let this go. I can no longer hold on to this, because this no longer serves me. This no longer is helping me in my process of trying to create a new reality, trying to create a new life for myself, for me, my family, whatever. So 2023 may have been that same way for you. There may have been some things in 2023 that you just had to accept were not going to happen. This is just not going to happen. This person is just not going to act right. This situation is just not going to work out. This job is just not going to work out for me. Trying to go in this direction is just not working out for me. And I just accept that. Because you do know that acceptance is a high vibrational emotion. When you get to that place where there's just some things you just got to accept. Especially when you're dealing with other people. Especially when you're dealing with relationships, friendships. It might be your family or whatever. There are certain things that you just have to accept because everybody has free will. Everybody has the right to make decisions about their lives. And about what they want to do with their lives, what direction they want to go in, how they want to handle certain things. Everybody has free will. So sometimes we just get to this place where you just have to accept that some things are just not going to turn out the way we want them to turn out, or the way we thought they were going to turn out, or whatever. So acceptance is because acceptance keeps us from being, first of all, it keeps us from being in denial about a situation. That's the first thing that acceptance does. It takes us out of denial. It takes us out of delusion. It takes us out of fooling ourselves and wasting our time. That's the first thing that acceptance does, right? And then acceptance allows you to release something that you possibly need to release and need to let go of, so that the universe, so that your spirit guides and all these unseen forces that are working in the background to help you, so that they can show you how you need to usher something else in. So sometimes acceptance will allow us to let go of things that we need to let go of, so that other things that need to come into our lives can come into our lives. So acceptance is real important. And sometimes you just have to accept a situation for what it looks like, and just say, okay, okay, I accept that this is what it is right now. And I don't have the ability right now to change it. You understand what I'm saying? You just have to accept it and let it go, and turn that situation over to the universe and say, okay, universe, I don't have the energy. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to keep on stressing about this situation. I'm not going to keep on worrying about this situation. I'm not going to keep on wearing myself out trying to figure this situation out. I'm going to turn this situation over to you, accept that it just is what it is, and I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on, and I'm going to work on something that I can fix. I'm going to work on something that I can control. I'm going to work on something that I can change, while I trust you with this situation that I cannot change. And as you move forward in doing that, in moving on and working on the things that you can change, the things that you do have control over, one of two things is going to happen. Either the universe is going to work that situation out for you, or you're going to get so busy moving on and working on other things and handling other things until that situation is no longer going to matter to you. And that's what acceptance will do for us. So there were some things in 2023 that I just had to accept that I couldn't change, that I couldn't fix, that I couldn't work out. So I had to turn those situations over to the universe and say, here. Because I'm not going to keep on stressing over this. I'm not going to keep on working on this. I'm not going to keep on wasting my time on this, when there are other things that I could be doing that I have more control over. And as I did that, as I moved forward, as I moved on, and as I concentrated on the things that I could control, the things that I could fix, the things that I could change, that situation stopped meaning as much to me. Now it doesn't mean anything, basically it doesn't mean anything at all. So, and there may be others of you who have experienced the same thing, and you may have been wondering, okay, why are my friends dropping off? Why am I having so much trouble in this relationship? Why do I feel the way that I feel about my job, and I just don't want to be here? No matter how much I try, I just, it just doesn't resonate with me anymore. It doesn't sit well with me anymore. It doesn't feel right to me anymore, or whatever. It's because there are some things that you need to release. There are some things that you just need to let go of. There are some things that you just need to walk away from. Why? Because you're in this year of completion. And this year of completion, this year of perfection is almost over. So these things have got to be handled. These situations have got to be handled. I heard one woman call it doing energetic hygiene, where you need to go in and you need to do some serious reflecting and some serious considering as far as your entire life is concerned, as far as what you've learned, what you've seen, what you have experienced in 2023, to make sure that you're not taking any negative or any, and maybe not even the word negative, but so much as you're not taking any unnecessary or unproductive energy with you into 2024. So you need to go in and you need to go in, do if there's any more shadow work that you need to do, then you need to go in and you need to do that shadow work. If there's somebody that you need to forgive for something, that somebody that hurt you or betrayed you or whatever the case may be, you need to go ahead on and forgive them, and you need to get that out of your energetic field. If there's anybody that has said something to you or done something to you, and because you didn't want to have a confrontation, or because you just didn't know how to bring it up or whatever, you need to go ahead on and you need to let them know. You can be kind about the way you say it or whatever, but however you choose to say it, you need to let them know that, hey, what you said to me, what you did to me, it hurt me, it bothered me, and I just wanted to let you know. You understand? If there's anybody that you have hurt, if there's anybody that you did wrong, and that's on your mind, and that kind of still bothers you, then you need to go to that person and you need to apologize from your heart, and you need to let them know that you're sorry for hurting them or something that you said to them or offending them or whatever. We need to release all of this stuff in these last weeks of 2023. We need to release all of this stuff. We need to go in and we need to make sure that our energy is clean. We need to go in and make sure that our spirits are clean. We need to go in and make sure that our hearts are clean. We need to go in and make sure that our thoughts and our emotions are clean. We're not carrying or harboring any resentments or any hostilities towards anybody, any unforgiveness. You understand? If there's anything in you that you're working on healing, then you need to seriously work on getting it healed and getting that trauma taken care of, getting that trauma recognized, recognize that you have trauma in that area, and start the process of healing in 2023. Because if you start the process of healing in 2023, even if the whole situation hasn't been completely healed and completely worked out, just that you start the process of healing and removing that trauma and going in and dealing with that trauma and looking at it. If you start that work in 2023, then 2024 will only produce more healing. Because we're going to talk about what 2024 breaks down to in a minute. It'll only produce more healing. So whatever you need to go inside and clean up, that's basically what I'm saying. Whatever you need to go inside and clean up in these last few weeks of 2023, go ahead on and clean it up. If there's anything that you know you need to let go of, whether it's a person, like I said, a job, whether it's a friend, or whether it's watching TV too much, whether it's something that you're eating, or whether it's something that you're doing, some kind of activity or whatever, and you know yourself Because it's something that you've been thinking about. It's something that the Spirit has been dealing with you about. It's something that your higher self has been talking to you about and letting you know you need to let this go. You need to quit this. You need to walk away from this. You need to stop doing this. Go ahead and stop it before 2024, before the end of this year. Go ahead and release it. If it's a relationship that you know you need to walk away from, and you've been looking for excuses, you've been looking for reasons to hold on and all of that, but no matter how hard you try, you're just not satisfied, you're just not fulfilled, it's just not sitting good with you, that energy is no longer serving you, then you need to walk away from that relationship. And it makes no difference who that relationship is with. Makes no difference whether it's family, friends, whether it's a partner or whoever. If it's anything that you need to release, and you know in your own heart that you need to release it, then release it. Let it go before 2023. Because if it's giving you trouble now, if it's stressing you out, or if it's making you feel a certain type of way now, if you take that into 2024 with you, that's going to be multiplied. That's going to be enhanced. And it's going to be even harder for you to let go. Okay? If there's somebody that you need to reach out to, you understand what I'm saying? And your spirit guides and source has been dealing with you about it. And for whatever reason, maybe it's fear, maybe it's trepidation, whatever it is that keeps you from reaching out to this person, then go ahead, make that decision, take that step of faith, and reach out to that person. If there's a business that you've been thinking about starting in 2023 and it's really, really been heavy on your mind, it's been heavy on your heart, it's something that you know you need to be doing, but fear, doubt, whatever, keep stepping in and telling, or you listening to other people, or you paying attention to all of the distractions around you and all the different voices around you, quiet those voices, forget those distractions, and start that business. Start that business. Even if you don't do anything but name the business. You understand what I'm saying? Name it. Go somewhere and get somebody to design a logo for you for that business. Take the first steps of starting that business before the end of 2023. And then you can take that into 2024 with you. And it'll be multiplied. You understand? If spirit has been telling you, or your spirit guides, or whatever you want to call it, whether God, whatever you want to call it, if it's been telling you you need to go back to school, you need to go back to school for this particular reason, or for that particular purpose, or you need to go study this, or you need to start studying that, or you need to take classes for this, or whatever, and for whatever reason. Maybe it's money. Maybe it's whatever. Before the end of this year, start that process. Get that process started. Even if it's no more than filling out applications to different schools. Even if it's no more than filling out whatever forms you need to fill out to get whatever kind of information you need. Even if it's no more than filling out financial aid forms or whatever. Start that process. Start that process before the end of 2023. If you're already in school, you understand what I'm saying? And your spirit guides and the spirit and your own mind, your own heart has been convicting you to change your major. Switch it up. This is what you really should be doing. This is the major that you really should be having. Then go ahead before the end of 2023 and start that process. Start that process of changing, switching your major or whatever. If you're in school, and I don't know why I'm going down this road, but I'm just being led. If you're in school and you know that that's not the place you need to be, school is not serving you at all. All you're doing is wasting your time and wasting your money. And you know that. You understand what I'm saying? And you had other people around you that have confirmed that. and you really don't want to be there. You're not learning anything. You're not bettering yourself. Nothing is happening. There's something else over here that you really, really want to do. You may want to start your own business. You may want to be an artist. You may want to be a musician. Whatever the case may be. But there's something else over here that you really, really want to do. This thing over here is where your heart really is. This thing over here is the true reflection of who you really are. Then you need to let school go. You need to start that process of letting school go and going over there doing that thing that you really want to do. So basically all I'm saying is sow these seeds now. If there are seeds that you need to sow, whether it's starting a business, going to school, leaving school, or starting a specific project that you've always wanted, it's always been your heart's desire to start this particular project. Maybe it's you want to do some work on your house. Maybe it's maybe you want to start a foundation or something like that. Whatever the case may be, if it's something that you really, really desire, something that you love and something that you really, really want to do, before the end of 2023, sow those seeds. Plant those seeds. Put them in the ground. Start that process. Start that process. Get it started now so that the seeds are already in the ground by the time 2024 rolls in. Like I said, if there's anything that you need to cut loose, anything that you need to let go of, any anger, any hurt, any resentment, if there's any trauma that you need to face and you need to deal with it, and you know you need to deal with it because you know that this trauma is holding you back, that this trauma is affecting your life and is keeping you from being the best that you can be, then go ahead and start the process of working that trauma out. Even if it means you need to sit down and talk to somebody. Even if it means you need to go, maybe you need to go to therapy. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you need to find you, do some research and find you a good spiritual advisor. Maybe you just need to get alone somewhere by yourself, away from all the voices, all the distractions, and just sit down and go within and meditate and open yourself up to receive the guidance that you need from your spiritual guides. But start that process of healing now before 2024 comes in. If there's any energy in your field, if there's any energy around you that that no longer serves you, you can't use that energy for anything. That energy has now become stale, and it's no longer of any value to you or any use to you. Then you need to get rid of that energy. Take a couple of spiritual baths. And spiritual baths are when you light your candles and you put certain ointments and certain herbs and stuff in your bath water and all that kind of stuff. You can say a little prayer over it or whatever, but take a couple of spiritual baths. Get some cinnamon, cinnamon. They call it Florida water. That's a good spiritual water. Cinnamon, Florida water. As a matter of fact, I'll if I can remember, I'll put a list of things that you can use to clean your house and give your house a good spiritual bath. You understand what I'm saying? Burn some sage to get rid of all of that leftover residue, negative energy, or unuseful energy that might be floating around in your home, or your office at work, or your workspace at home, or whatever. These are just little things that you can do to cleanse the energy and the energetic field within you and around you, so that it can be as clean as possible when 2024 comes in. Because you don't want to take the undealt with trauma. Because like I said, you might not be able to, the healing process takes some time. Just like when we first started this new journey on this new channel about healing, we talked about healing, and we talked about how healing is not a one and done type thing, how healing is not a thing that has a specific time frame, that healing is an ongoing process. So if you're trying to heal from a particular trauma, from a particular event, it's, there's no saying that it's going to happen, that you're going to be completely healed and you're going to be completely over it in the next 2 or 3 days or the next 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. But as long as you have started that process, as long as you have started the process of identifying the trauma and dealing with the trauma, identifying how that trauma is affecting your life, dealing with how that trauma is affecting your thoughts and your feelings, dealing with how that trauma affects you on a day-to-day basis, and now taking responsibility to say, okay, it's time for me to heal from this. If that's something that's really been on your mind in 2023, I need to take more responsibility for my life. I need to take back control of my life. I need to take my power back. Then start that process now. Start that process before the end of 2023. And that way, when you step into 2024, you step into 2024 as somebody who is taking back their power, as somebody who is taking back control of their life, as somebody who is taking responsibility for their life, and realizing that they are the God of their own life, the creator of their own life. And the reason why we have to do these things is because, let's talk about 2024. When you break 2024 down, you get the number 8. And the number 8, when you flip it on its side, is the infinity sign. Infinity. Endless. Limitless. That's what 2024 represents. For those who understand and for those who are ready to walk into infinite possibilities. For those who are ready to walk into infinite manifestations. For those who are ready to walk into infinite, limitless abundance. But you have to choose now what that's going to look like for you in 2024. Is it going to look like infinite manifestations of more hurt? Infinite manifestations of more trauma? Is it going to look like infinite manifestations of more anger and resentment and bitterness and unforgiveness? Or is it going to look like infinite abundance of healing? An infinite, limitless abundance of success? An infinite abundance of creativity? An infinite abundance of money and wealth and happiness and joy and light? You decide what that abundance is going to look like, because it's going to be abundance, period. It's going to be an abundance of manifestation. It's going to be an abundance of ascension. It's going to be an abundance of whatever energy you take into 2024 with you. You make that decision, and you make that decision now. You make that decision in the last few weeks of 2023 of what your 2024 is going to look like. You make that decision. That's the reason why you have to do this energetic cleaning. That's the reason why you have to go inside and you have to make sure that you've gotten rid of all of the trauma, all of the residue. You've cleaned up all of that. That's the reason why if there's any healing that needs to be done, you have to start that healing now. That's the reason why if there are any seeds that need to be sown, sow them now. So that they're already in the ground and they've already started the process of taking root by the time 2024 comes in. If you're in any form of toxic relationship, doesn't make any difference who that person is. Whether that person is a partner, whether that person is a family member, whether that person is a friend, whether that person is somebody on your job, your boss or a co-worker or whatever. If you are in any form of toxic relationship, get out of that toxic relationship in 2023. Because if you enter in 2024 in that toxic relationship, it's only going to manifest more and more and more. At an accelerated speed. Because that's what 8 does. 8 is all about the power of accelerated manifestation. And infinite possibilities. But you determine what those possibilities look like. You determine what these manifestations will be. And if you're ready for a change, if you're ready for your life to look different, if you're ready for your life to feel different, if you're ready for your results to be different, then you have to do something different. So you have to do this on purpose. This has to be something that you do intentionally. Because on purpose you mean for your life to look different. Your intention is to create a different life, a different reality. So that's the reason why you have to do things differently. If you keep doing the same thing in 2024 that you were doing in 2023 or 2022 or 2021 or whatever, whether it be good or bad, if you take that into 2024 with you, then you're going to get a whole lot more of it. And you're going to get it at a quicker rate. Because that's what the 8 represents. There are some of us that have sown seeds 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago. For things that we wanted to come into our reality. For things that we wanted to create and we wanted to see them manifest, which simply means we wanted to see them revealed and materialize in our reality. And we had to go through some things. We had to learn some lessons. We had to clean out some stuff. We had to clear out some stuff. We had to get rid of some stuff. We had to add some stuff to our lives. All of that to get us to the place where we are ready and prepared to see these things realized in our lives. 2024 is going to bring that about. But again, you decide. It's up to you. You make that decision about what 2024 is going to bring you. What is going to materialize in 2024. Because that's what the number 8 is all about. That material stuff. Stuff manifesting and stuff coming to fruition. In this natural 3D realm where you can experience it with your 5 natural senses. But you have to decide what that's going to be. You have to decide whether or not that's going to be the life that you've always wanted, the life that you've always dreamed of, the life that you've been trying to manifest, or if it's going to continue to be more of the same that you've been trying to get rid of. But you have to do the work. And the work is to go inside and make sure that energetically and spiritually you're clean. You've gotten rid of all of that residue. You've gotten rid of all of that negative stuff. You've changed the way you think. You've changed the way you feel. You're learning how to vibrate higher. And you're learning how to come out of that low vibrational state quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. You're learning how to discern the energy that's coming towards you and how to block certain energies from coming into your energetic field. Because you've went out and you've done the work. You're learning how to be grateful for what you do have instead of constantly concentrating on what you don't have. You're learning how to be grateful for what you do have. You're learning how to open up your mouth and say, I'm grateful for this, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for this, and I'm grateful for that. You're learning how to see the glass half full and not half empty. You're taking responsibility. You're taking your power back. You're saying, I don't want any more of that. This is what I want. This is what I want. I'm choosing this. So you're doing the work. Many of us have put seed in the ground in 2023. And not only did we put the seed in the ground, but we sprinkled some fertilizer around it and we've watered it and all of that. Because we are creating our reality. We are creating what we want to materialize in our human experience. But you got to do the work. If you want to be healed, if you want to be happy, if you want to be stress-free, you've got to start that process now. And healing, being stress-free, being happy, being filled with joy is what 2024 will manifest for you. Because you've already started that process. You've already started that process of healing. You've already started that process of breaking the generational trauma and breaking the generational curses. You want financial freedom in 2024, where you've already started the process of thinking about money differently, feeling different about money, understanding that money is simply a co-creator with you, and that money is just energy. You are money because you are energy. Everything that you need is already inside of you. You are already starting the process of understanding that there is no such thing as lack. Because abundance is all around you. Abundance is inside of you. You are a part of an infinite universe where there is no lack, where there is nothing but abundance. You are a part of the universe is a part of you. So if there is no lack in the universe, there is no lack in you. You are more than enough. You are enough. Some of you have already started the seeds of owning your own business. Some of you have already started up your businesses. And you've been working diligently in your businesses, advertising, growing your businesses, growing your customer base and all of that. All of that stuff is what you will see materialize more and more and more in 2024. So that's what I wanted to come talk to you about. I wanted to come talk to you about this year. 2023 has been this year when we have let go of some things. We have allowed some other things to come in. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's all a part of this completion process. It's all a part of perfecting who we are, who we really are, learning who we really are and perfecting that. So that we can be prepared for all the goodness and all the greatness, all the success, all the abundance, all the prosperity that is going to materialize in our lives, all the infinite possibilities, all the infinite opportunities that are going to materialize in our lives in 2024. So I urge you all to do the work. I've had to do it. I just had to release something and send a little message to somebody yesterday. So I'm doing the same thing. We're on this journey together. You're not alone. No matter where you are on this journey, you are not alone. So what I'm telling you is not anything that I'm not doing myself or have not already done. But we got to get it cleaned up. We energetically, spiritually, we got to clean it. We got to get it cleaned up. Why? So that physically, what's coming into our physical existence, what's coming into our physical human experience will be a reflection of the work that we've done energetically and spiritually. That's what we want. We want our lives in the physical sense to be a reflection of who we really are energetically and spiritually. And you can't be afraid. You can't be afraid. What did I just talk about? Those 3 keys. You got to have those 3 keys. You got to have that personal responsibility. You've got to maintain that gratitude. And you've got to have that trust. You've got to trust yourself. Trust who you are. Trust that you're learning who you are. Trust that you are worthy and deserving of all the good that the universe has for you. Love yourself, trust yourself, and then trust the process. Trust God, trust Source, trust the universe as they handle their part of the process while you do yours. And yours is to do the work within yourself. That's your part. Yours is to make sure that, like I said in the last video, yours is to make sure that you have those 4 things in alignment with each other. That your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and your words are in alignment with each other. That all 4 of those things support each other. You're doing what you're saying, you're thinking what you're saying, you're feeling what you're saying, you're feeling what you're doing. You understand what I'm saying? Your thoughts, your feelings, your words, and your actions are in line with each other. So you're doing the work. You have to trust that the universe is handling its part on its end. So that's what I wanted to come with y'all today. Like I said, I say it ain't gonna take long, but I have to break things down in a way that I can understand them. Because I know if I can understand it, if I break it down in a way that I can understand it, then I know that you can understand it. But that's what it is. 2023 has been that year of getting it together, getting this stuff perfected, getting this stuff finished and completed, getting these seeds in the ground, and doing this work, doing this shadow work, doing this inner work that needed to be done so that we can be prepared for what 2024 is offering. All right? So, if you have any questions for me, if there's anything that you think that you might want to talk about, or whatever the case may be, down there in the comment section, or you got the email for the channel, it's the same email. It's still undilutedtv1@gmail.com. But, hit me up if you want to talk. Hit me up if you got a question or two. Get down in them comments and ask a question, and we'll take it from there. But let's all do what we need to do in these last few weeks of 2023 so that we can be ready to create the best possible realities and see the best possible materializations for ourselves and our families and our loved ones in 2024. Okay? All right. Y'all have a good one, and I'll talk to y'all later.